Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Levy's Math Room. Now, what we're going to be looking at in this session is changing the subject of the formula. Alright, so we are looking at formulae and we're changing the subject of the formula. Alright, now changing the subject of a formula simply means that we are replacing one term for another. We're changing the lead term. Alright, so generally they will tell you to make a certain term the subject of the formula. All they're saying is make that the lead term, right? So the equation must be equal to that term, right? So we are switching lead terms. So let's say you're somewhere and you're in line. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 persons in line, and if somebody says you're in the position number 3, and somebody says you are taken from position number 3 and put you at position number 1, right? So they have moved position, and so the same thing, the same principle applies to changing the subject of a formula, right? So all we're doing is switching positions to make the term that we are asked to make the equation equal to that term, all right? So let's go. So we have y equals m times x plus c. Y equals m times x plus c, and we're asked to make x the subject of the formula. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite the equation. So it says y equals m times x plus c. Alright, now notice that this is the general formula for the equation of a line. Alright, so we have y equals mx plus c. We want to make x, right? X the subject, and so we need to first, just like when we are solving a regular linear equation, we are going to get rid of the c here first. So it's a plus c. To undo a plus, we are going to subtract. Right? So remember, it's an equation. Notice it says y equals. Right? So you have two sides. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we must do it to the other side. Right? And so we are going to now subtract. So subtract c from both sides. Right? So we have now y minus c equals mx plus c minus c. The c's cancel. So we are left with y minus c equals mx plus, so mx. Right? Now we have y minus c equals m times x. Right? Now what do we want to make the subject of the formula? X. Good? And so we need to get rid of the m. And here we're saying m times x. Good? Now, to undo multiplication, we perform its opposite operation, which would be, good, division. Right? And so we are going to divide both sides by m. Also, we now have y minus c equals mx, right? M times x, so we divide this side by m, divide that side by m, right? So the m's cancel here, we're left with x equals y minus c over m, right? Now if you want to put the x on the right hand and the left hand side, no problem. It can remain there, right? But we can read the lead from here or that side, doesn't matter. So x equals y minus c over m, or y minus c over m is equal to x, right? If you want to turn it around, no issue, right? So you can do y equals, sorry about that again, x equals y minus c over m, right? No difference. Now let's hop over to this side, and we have c equals a plus b, right? So c is equal to a plus b, right? So I'm going to rewrite that again. So c equals a plus b, and we want to make what the subject? We want to make a the subject, right? So we are going to make a the subject. Good. So we have A plus B. So we must get rid of the B from here. Good? So in order to get rid of this plus B, we must subtract. Alright, so we perform this opposite operation, which is subtraction. And so we say we subtract B from both sides. Good? So if I subtract B from both sides, I'm going to get what? C minus B equals A plus B minus B. Right? B minus B, we're left with A on that side equals C minus B, and there we have it. Right? So our result is A equals C minus B, or C minus B is equal to A. We can change that around, so A equals C minus B if you want to write it like that. Alright? And that's it. Now, let's get to some questions. So let's just review this. So we have y is equal to m times x plus c. Good? We are asked to make x the subject of the formula. Good? So we just rewrite the formula or the equation. Look to see what we have, what operations we have there. First, we identify the term that we want to make the subject. Then we can now get rid of, we can move things around. So we get rid of this c, which is the constant, and to do that we have to subtract c from both sides of the formula or the equation, and we have y minus c equal mx. Then this m times x, we must get rid of this m. It says m times x, right? And so we divide both sides by m, right? And we are left with x equal y minus c over m. Good? So let's do two more. Alright, so we can do 2 or 3 from our C-sec past table. Alright. So let's look at this question. This came on the January 2019 paper. So January 2019, and it says make x the subject of the form. Make x the subject of the formula. And the formula reads y equals x over 5 plus 3p. X over 5 plus 3p. Right? Now, so we have y equals x divided by 5 plus 3p. Now, let's first get rid of the 3p. Alright? Now, we treat this as one term. Okay? So we're going to just lift this, right, as it is. So we do what? We subtract. We are going to subtract 3p from both sides of the equation. Alright? So we will have y minus 3p equals x over 5 plus 3p minus 3p. And we are left, this cancels, so 3p minus 3p is 0. So on this side we are left with x divided by 5 equals y minus 3p. Alright? Now that we have y minus 3p equals x divided by 5, we want to make what the subject of the formula? X. Alright? And so we need to get rid of this 5. And we are doing what? We are dividing. So we have x divided by 5. To undo division, we are going to multiply. So we are going to do what? Multiply both sides of our equation by 5. Alright? So we multiply, I use a different ink. We multiply this side by 5 and this side by 5. Right? So we will now end up with, we can expand this, right? 5 Let me just use up my black. 5 times y, so we're using distributive law. So 5 times y is 5y minus 5 times, so we do that and that. Right? 5 times 3p, that gives us 15p equals, so these cancel, right? 5 into 5 is 1 equal x. So x is equal to 5y minus 15p. So we can rewrite that as x equals 5y minus 15p. Alright, and this came from the January 2019 CSEC paper. Alright? Now we can do another one which says this is June 2021, and the question says n equals the square root of t, and we want to make what? What do you think? Make t the subject of the formula, right? So we have, notice we have, so n equals the square root of t, right? Now we want to make t the subject here, so we must do what? We must get rid of the square root sign, right? So to get rid of that, we have to square this, right? Square all of that, and we must do the same thing to the other side. Good? And so to make t the subject, we square both sides of the equation, right? And so we have that, we have that, right? So we have now n squared equals t. And that's the answer, right? N squared is equal to t. Okay, that was June 2021. Now let's look at January. Okay, we can look at June 2018. We haven't done that one yet. Let me erase this. June 2020, or January, sorry. So that's January 2020, and it says make K the subject of the formula. So make K the subject of the formula, and the formula reads 2a equals pi k squared plus 3t. Alright? So this came from January 2020. Right, so we want to make what the subject? We want to make k the subject. Right? So this is what we want. That, we want to make k the subject. Alright? So we must first get rid of this 3t, right? Then we must get rid of pi. Alright, so let's first get rid of 3t. Right, so remember we said in an equation, when you working with equations, we first get rid of undo our addition and our subtraction before we do our division and our multiplication. Right? So let's go do that. So we are going to subtract 3t from both sides. Good? So we now have 2a minus 3t equals pi k squared. Right? So if I subtract, okay, let's show it then, plus 3t minus 3t, and that cancels. Right? So we now have 2a minus 3t equal pi k squared. Now we need to get rid of pi. Right? So we have pi times k squared. Good? So let us get rid of this pi. It says pi times, so we are going to do what? We are going to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by pi. Let's write that. So divide both sides by pi. So we have 2a minus 3t equal pi k squared divided by pi divided by pi. Alright? So this cancels, pi cancels. We are left with k squared equals 2a minus 3t over pi. Alright? Now, we are not there yet. Notice we have k what? K squared. We want to make what? The subject k, just simple k without the square. Now, how do we undo a square term? We must find the square root, right? And if we find the square root of k, we must also do the square root of the left hand side. So let me just put that to the side. Take the square root, take the square root of both sides, right? So take the square root of both sides. So the square root of k squared, the square root of all of that, right? So square root of k squared would be k, right? Equals the square root of 2a minus 3t all over pi, and that's your result, right? Now, when you're working, then you don't have to divide both sides by pi, subtract 3t from both sides, and so on. You don't have to write all of that. Also, some things you don't really have to show. Like in this case, we didn't have to show on this side that we subtracted 3t. Right? If you can just do that mentally, you could skip that and just go straight to working to dividing both sides by pi. Right? So just note that. Okay, let's do one more. So now we're on 2019, 2021. Hold on. Hold on. So June 2018. F equals n times v minus u. All of that over t. And it says make v the subject of the formula. Make v the subject, right? So we have, let's just rewrite that, f equals n times v minus u all over t, right? So we must first do what? We must first get rid of the denominator here, the fraction, right? So we are going to get rid of the denominator by doing what? By multiplying both sides of the equation by t. We're going to multiply by t. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other side. And so we have, we multiply this side by t, the t is cancelled. This side by, we get some space, by t. We have now f t equals n times v minus u. Right? Now let's get rid of what now? What do we get rid of? The m. Right? So to get rid of the m, we are going to multiply both sides of the equation by, divide both sides of the equation by m. M cancels. So we now have ft over m equals v minus u. And we are solving for v. Right? We want to make v the subject of the formula. So we must get rid of the u right there. To get rid of the u, we must do what? We must add the u right there. And if we add u here, we must also add here. So we now have ft over m plus u equals v. Okay? So that's it. So let's go from the top. We have f equals n times v minus u over t, or divided by t. We want to make v the subject of the formula. So we first get rid of the denominator, which is the t, by multiplying both sides of the equation by t. So we do that. Here, t cancels there. We're left with ft over m equals m times v minus u. We need to get rid of the m, right? This is saying m times all of that. So to undo that, we are going to divide. We must do to the other side as well. Alright, and so we divide both sides by m. Good? Then we now are left with v minus u, and we want to make v the subject. And so we do what? We add u to this to cancel them out. And so if we're adding u here, we must also add u on the other side. Alright, and that's our result. And there we have it. Now you can look for the others and you can work on them, or we'll just work on them in another session, but we gotta go. And so I just want to encourage you again to practice, and more practice. Practice makes perfect, right? The more you practice, the better you become at it. Okay? Now, all the best, and again, continue to subscribe, continue to like, continue to share, and just leave a comment. Alright? And so blessings, see you next time.